All right, we are live. Cool. Set it up.
Your business idea needs a website? So go to Wix.com. What are you waiting for? Today's the day.
All right. Right there? You guys there? Can you hear me? What's up, Diane? All right, cool. Yes, sir. Who else we got here? Rob's here. All right, perfect. I'm good. I can't complain. Doing another live. I'm excited. This should be pretty fun. All right, cool. We'll give it a minute here before we get started with everything. Nibbles, what's going on, bro? Good to see you as always. You guys can hear me, right? Can you give me a thumbs up? Can everybody hear me? From Atlanta. How you doing, Linda? What's going on? All right, cool. Everybody can hear me. Perfect. All right, guys, welcome to today's live stream. So I was gonna do a regular video today, but seeing as how things keep getting pushed back with, all the cruise news and stuff, I'm starting to figure that this is going to be going on for a while. So I don't want to get too repetitive, so to speak, with all the videos. So I figured we change it up and maybe do like a live, like maybe once a week for now, in case anybody has any questions with all the confusing stuff going on. So here we are. What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Cool, we got 74 people in so far. Perfect. By the way, if you guys could hit that like button for me, I greatly appreciate it. So for today's episode, I'm going to be answering, just do like a Q&A, answer any questions you guys have as far as like the cruise ship industry. I'll give you guys, as much information that I can for the best of my ability. Southwest Texas. Cool. What's up, David? How's it going? Hey, guys. Yeah, so I'm just going to be answering questions. If you guys have anything at all, like I said, I'll answer to the best of my ability because I know there's a lot of confusing information going on right now. So MSC is a danger to India. How? What's going on with India? Is Carnival canceling any September cruises? To my knowledge, they haven't canceled any. All I know is that they have those 8 set up right now for Carnival. Do I think they will survive? Yeah, I think Carnival will definitely survive. They have enough money to last for another year without taking any passengers. So yeah, they'll survive. I'd be very surprised if they didn't, to be honest with you. So running over. So yeah, what about Norwegian? NCL. NCL just acquired from what my understanding, NCL just acquired about $2 billion. So again, they'll be doing good. They'll be fine. Just like Carnival, they'll be good, I believe, at least for another year without taking a single passenger. How much was the pandemic impact crew? Yeah, I missed that one. Give me a second. It's this one. When do I think we'll go back on board? When do I think I'll go back on? I'll go back on, honestly, as soon as cruising restarts. Whenever cruising's back on board and whenever they're going back out, especially in Florida, if they're going out of Port Canaveral, Tampa down the street from me, or Miami, I'll be back on the ship. Let's see. RCL in December. I mean, to be honest, as far as the dates that from what my understanding is so far, they're set to be back in August. I'm somewhat optimistic about that, but I'm putting my area around September, October area, as far as when cruising will finally resume, and they'll start adding more and more ships as they go along. I think what Carnival's doing right now and what Princess is doing right now with only adding a couple ships is probably the best idea so they can restructure, reorganize, and get things how they want them to be. The Thanksgiving cruise? Yeah, I think Thanksgiving, in my opinion, I'm thinking optimistically. I think around, again, September, October, cruising will definitely be back. But, who knows? Something could go wrong, or I hope not. But, we can't be overly optimistic and not think about reality. There is a very small chance that cruising could get pushed back even more further than August, September, or October. You never know at this point. Everything's like a giant question mark right now. Nobody can say for sure what's going to happen. Let's see what else we got here. Harmony of the Seven Seas, great ship. A Royal. What do you guys want to know about Royal Caribbean? Joining date. I'll join the chat. I mean, Royal Caribbean, so they're still kind of just chilling right now. I mean, honestly, to my knowledge, they haven't extended that date. They've only gone to, what is it? I believe it's June so far with Royal Caribbean. They haven't put any new dates up. I mean, I'm assuming they will, but the only information they've put out so far for Royal Caribbean is that they're planning on repatriating all of the crew members and getting them back home, which is something that I believe that every cruise line should be focusing on right now, in my personal opinion. That should be the priority. Get everybody home first, and then after that, they'll kind of move on from there. How many ships will open? What, from Royal Caribbean? Are you asking for Royal Caribbean? Or what cruise line are you asking for? You're just asking in general. June 2nd for the Navigator. June 2nd. Have you called about getting future cruise credit or anything like that? Oh, they have. Okay, thanks, Diane. Yeah, so Royal Caribbean's also gone to September 1st. So, I mean, honestly, I think at this point, we're going to aim for August, September, October for all the cruise lines. Some other places like Alaska have all been, I mean, not all of them, but from Princess, I believe it's Princess, Holland America, to my knowledge so far, have canceled all cruises for Alaska. And I'm assuming with things going in that late in the season, most cruise lines that are planning on going to Alaska will probably be canceled for the rest of 2020. I can't see a couple cruise lines doing that and the rest of them not following suit. When did that need come out? September 1st for us. That's a good question. Diane, when did that news come out for Royal Caribbean? Do you know? Because I've only seen bits and pieces following up with Royal Caribbean. There's just so much information coming out left and right. I just know that they have extended like most cruise lines, but I haven't seen the exact dates. A long time ago, for all of their cruises, Diane, every single cruise ship is going out till September. Let's see. I know I saw another question here. You think the crew will get higher salary from now on, additional work? No, no. As far as the crew goes, guys, to be honest with you, the crew, it's kind of one of those things. It's like either they have to adapt and accept the new rules that are going in place, but I mean, they're not going to get paid anymore. They aren't. That's just how it is. That's the cruise industry. It's kind of one of those things that with cruising, like most jobs, you can always find somebody to do the work. Somebody will always be around to do it for less, in my personal opinion. I mean, it's not even an opinion, it's a fact. Somebody will do the job. If cruise lines aren't offering to pay more, which I seriously doubt they'll pay more, they're gonna pay the same rate they always paid, and then they're gonna have the crew members just basically just either they're gonna choose to say, here, the rates are the same. You might have a little bit more of a workload, but either you take it or you leave it. I honestly think that's how it's gonna be. No chances are for cruising on the Caribbean in September. From what I've seen, the Caribbean, all of the Caribbean have pushed their dates back. I believe it was to like November or something like that. I have to double check on that. Don't quote me on it, but I think all of the Caribbean has shut down all of their cruising at least until November. But who knows? If things pick back up and start to get better with this whole thing with the coronavirus and everything, I think that they'll open back up a little bit earlier. But at this point, from what I understand, all of the Caribbean, all of their ports are pushed back until most of the year. So November, December, we'll probably start seeing it. Mediterranean will probably follow suit. All of these island ports, all of these ports of calls that are in like the Mediterranean, the Canary Islands, anything like that, personally, I believe they'll be a little bit more hesitant because if there is an outbreak in any of those islands, it could cause a whole nother smaller pandemic, a new outbreak, a wave of outbreak in those isolated areas. And that's the last thing that they will want. Talk about being an outspoken American. They treat you differently, the management. As an American, not really. No, I mean, I never saw any mistreatment. I mean, I saw a lot of Americans get fired, if that's what you're asking. I mean, it doesn't matter, to be honest. Whatever nationality you are, they don't treat you any different way. Cruise gonna get canceled for October. It might be, I mean, keep an eye on that. I just know as a precaution, the Caribbean islands have pushed back their dates even further than what we're thinking about right now as far as August. But who's to say? If things start opening back up and are looking good for the other itineraries, I'm assuming that most of the Caribbean, like the Bahamas, will open back up because most of their revenue in some of those places depend on cruising. But that's my thought process doing it. I think if things are working out and there hasn't been another outbreak, things will definitely get better. Alaska cruises should be at the moment. I think all cruise lines are keeping an eye on everything. Yeah, Alaska is definitely a touchy one for sure because with Alaska, I think that it gets to a point where you can't go there all year round with the Alaskan cruises if you guys aren't aware. And there's only a certain amount of time before it gets too cold or whatever. The conditions aren't right for cruising to be able to go to Alaska. So that's why a lot of cruise lines are canceling for the season. They're also canceling Canada as well. They're changing their itineraries up. The Bahamas open up sooner. The Bahamas are another questionable one. I think the Bahamas, unlike Alaska, they have a good chance of opening up sooner rather than later if things are actually working out with the reopening and restarting of cruise lines. If they restart operations and things are going well, there's not a doubt in my mind that the Caribbean at least will say, all right, cool, we'll open back up. Oh, super chat. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Did I get other employment opportunities either by cruise line or networking with other entertainers? As far as what, like on the cruise ship? Yeah, I mean, I've gotten other opportunities off the cruise ship because, to be honest, I was never set on doing continuous cruise contracts. That's a hard life to get caught up in. Once you start doing cruise contracts, it's hard to say no to the next one because when you're on the ship, it's such an easy life. Not easy, but it's a whole nother dynamic when you don't have to worry about bills and all that. It's hard to say no when you only plan on doing one contract. You'll want to keep going back, and then you'll get out of touch with reality, and that's the last thing anybody wants to do. So is it wise to book a cruise right now? I mean, no. I mean, that's honestly, the probably best answer I could give. I don't think so, to be honest. Booking a cruise right now is risky business. If you book a cruise and let's say you start doing payments, you see what's happening with a lot of the cruise lines are trying to bribe people into either taking the cruise credit. If you're making payments or you're financing your cruise, they're saying, hey, why don't we just give you double the amount that you've paid already in cruise credit? So yeah, they are cheap right now. You're right, Brandon. It's extremely tempting. But to book a cruise right now is extremely risky because nobody knows what's going to happen. Bankruptcy, I don't think is going to happen, but your itinerary could change or whatever. If you're flexible with your dates and you're flexible with your money or whatever the case is in an itinerary, I think you could book a cruise, But if you're not and you're real set, let's say if you book a cruise and you're completely set on going to Alaska, if you're completely set on going to Bermuda, you shouldn't book a cruise right now because you're going to be sitting for hours on end trying to reschedule, trying to get future cruise credit should something go wrong. If you want to book a cruise, I would say just wait until cruise lines open back up because you'll still find pretty good deals, I believe. When cruising first returns, they're going to still need those eye catchers and things to bring people in. So they're not just going to up the price because cruising has restarted. They're still going to have a bunch of regulations. They're going to have to do things that are going to cost them more money. And before they start charging passengers more money, they are definitely going to have to bring at least that core group of avid cruisers back in. They're not going to do that by upping the price. I promise you that. I can guarantee you that. So, all right, let's see. I know I've missed like a couple questions, but let me see what I can get to for you guys. Virgin, Labor Day, Carnival in October. I hope you were able to contact them and get some kind of cruise credit. Did I set up a P.O. box? No, I seriously need to. I really do. I've been saying it for like the past 2 weeks. I promise you Monday I'm going to go set up a P.O. box. I need to. Should I? Are you guys going to send me stuff? That'd be great, to be honest. But I guess I could. If you guys really want me to set that up. I've just been kind of putting it on the back burner because I've had so many other things going on. But yeah, I'll set something up. All right, how's it going? Happy to make the stream. Missed the last one. Well, I'm glad you're here. You're killing me, Smalls. All right, Sandlot. Is Jamaican open to cruising for October? No, not to my knowledge. I wouldn't say so, but if anybody knows anything otherwise, I don't think they're open. At least they haven't said anything about being open in October, but who knows at this point. You mentioned you don't think Carnival stock is a good idea. Why? Thanks in advance. Well, I don't think to be honest, and this goes outside of cruising, I don't think any stock is good right now. And again, this is my opinion, guys. This isn't me giving financial advice, but the stock market right now is manipulated, and there's so many things going on with the stock market. I wouldn't even touch it right now, to be honest. If you got money in there, leave it there. But this isn't a good time to go invest in Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, just because things are so volatile right now. Anytime any little piece of bad news, like most of the time with the stock market, things are just fluctuating so much. But nobody knows what's going to happen. The whole stock market, especially within the cruise ship industry, could bottom out again. And then that might be a better time to buy as opposed to right now. So 100 shares of Carnival. Oh, okay. Well, if you get a discount, why not? Go ahead and jump on it. What position did I work on board? I was a dancer, but I did a couple odd jobs here and there. They had other stuff going on where I was able to make more. Like I would help out with the magicians when they came on board. But most of the time, my position on time as an entertainer or as a crew member on board, I was an entertainer. So let's see. I'm a dancer. I'm not a singer. You don't want to see me sing. You or hear me sing. You really don't. Which ships? So I forgot what. A couple years back, I was doing weekend flights, weekend fly-ins for Carnival, but this is only for a short time. They ended up firing all the breakdancers, so that didn't go on very long. But they had the what was it? The I can't even think of the group that they called us now. I'll think of it later on. But I was with them, and then I was on the Norwegian Escape. 100 shares of Royal Caribbean. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. Are they still? Is Royal Caribbean still doing dividends? I mean, I don't think they are, but either that or they slashed them a little bit. Or are they still offering that credit if you have more than 100 shares of Royal Caribbean? Let me see. Got to be a plumber on Hauler America. I'm sure that was probably busy business for you, Kevin. I'm sure being a plumber on board, I can't even imagine. You probably were up 24/7 handling calls. Posted an article in the group, Norwegian, leaking information from Norwegian. Oh, yeah. I was actually going to make an episode about that regarding Norwegian. Brandon, man, thank you again for the super chat. You know the cast of Royal. From which royal ship? Which royal? Damn, I just lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Yes, the credit. Oh, as far as Norwegian, with that whole leaking information thing, it's a sensitive subject to talk about because the cruise lines have in mind, they have the best interest of the crew in mind technically, but it's kind of one of those things. It's like the crew members at some point are going to feel like they're just being held hostage and that nobody cares about them because they're saying, here, you can't, they're basically being told that they can't connect with the outside world. They can't tell their family what's going on board. They can't tell friends what's going on board. So it's just creating a huge problem, huge problem. Which Carnival ships did you work on? I think it was, the Splendor and the Elation, something like that. But this is a couple years ago. Are those ships that old? It was I believe it was those two ships. Don't quote me on that because we were literally just in and out. And at that time, I was like 22 years old. I didn't care, honestly. They flew me onto the ship. I was there for like one weekend, and then we were out after that. There weren't even contracts. Selena Martin, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Royal Caribbean closed at 39. Yeah, Royal Caribbean stock is holding up pretty well right now. It really is. I think it's doing well. I mean, especially compared to NCL or even Carnival. Like, their stock is doing pretty good right now. Hey, my girlfriend's online. Hey, Lauren. Yeah, so it was around back. Yeah, so it had to be then. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they flew me out and then we did the weekend and then we came right back on. I only did that for a couple weeks and after that contract was done and over with. Offering 100, yeah, that 125% future cruise credit. That's something I've been talking about a lot in my videos. As far as the future cruise credit goes, I keep telling people, like, this is just a hunch. Again, this isn't like something that's been proven as of yet. But I believe that future cruise credit at some point is not going to be as valuable as it is either right now or when cruising first starts back up. That's my personal opinion, but you got to think about it this way. With the future cruise credit, they've been handing out this future cruise credit for some time now. There has to be, between each cruise line, there has to be hundreds of thousands of people between each individual cruise line that has future cruise credit. How are they going to use that and still make a profit? You got everybody running around with 125% future cruise credit, $600 in cruise credit. They're going to try to find a way to disperse that or make it not be as valuable as it is at some point. They could say that it's for 2022 all they want, but I think at some point it's going to go down. Tampa Bay, you already know. It's a cool city, guys, if you haven't been. Come out to my city, enjoy it. If you've been affected, get an additional 20% discount when you rebook. Okay, yeah, I mean, if you can rebook, and if you're doing so right now, I would say that'd be the best bet to do. As far as the future cruise credit, for those of you that have a decent amount of availability, my personal advice would be to take that cruise as soon as you can. As soon as you can, because I do believe that at some point, and it's pretty inevitable if you think about it, the prices are just kind of set to go up at some point because cruise lines are going to have to recuperate some of those funds that they've lost over this pandemic. Channel side, yeah. And Channel side has changed a lot, by the way. They've changed that whole thing around. Tampa itself has been blowing up lately. Well, up until this pandemic came around, but the Channel side isn't even recognizable anymore if you haven't been here in the past year. They got an area called Sparkman's Wharf and all that stuff over in that area now. It's completely changed around. So let's see. All right, do you have insight on some ports in regards to atmosphere? It's allowed. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, other than that incident that I heard about what happened I forgot the name of the island, but over near France, I would assume that for the most part, the port should be somewhat calm, but who knows? You know what I mean? Like everybody still has that fear over the virus. So it might be one of those situations where the people that live there locally might be a little bit more hesitant or not as happy to see the cruise ship return. But I think over time, as there's no cases being reported, I think over time things will calm down a little bit. They'll settle and people will relax and start welcoming cruises back into these ports. Because, I mean, it's unavoidable. The cruise lines are responsible for a big chunk of the revenue for a lot of these ports. So they can't keep these ships away from there forever if cruising does return, or when it does return, that is. I think they'll cancel every other cabin for separate. Yeah, starting out, I wouldn't even think of it from a cabin standpoint. I think cruise lines are going to be obligated to not fill their ships 100%. They're not gonna be legally allowed to sell out 100% of their ships. That's my personal belief. I think starting out, because who knows how long this whole social distancing thing is going to go on for until they make a vaccine. I think they're going to run their ships maybe, and I mean maybe, at like 60, 70% capacity at some point. And that's in every aspect of the ship. Like whether you be at the pool, whether you be in the cabins, they're going to do their best to limit the amount of people on board the ship. That's my personal belief. I think it's probably going to be hard pressed for a cruise line whenever they start back up to completely fill their ship up again, because we've all been on cruises. We see how packed it gets, and there's no way you can follow social distancing regulations with a full ship. It's impossible. How will people be able to gather? They won't. That's what I'm saying. They won't. There's going to be a lot of changes. If you guys have reviewed any of the Disney regulations that they have going back in, they're following social distancing. They have people wearing masks and stuff. The experience is going to change for a while. So out of Quebec, let me see. Quebec, East Coast in October this year. No, to be honest with you. I mean, have you seen a lot of the Alaskan, Canadian, and New England, USA tour or cruises are getting canceled? I couldn't see it happening, to be honest with you. You never know. They might open Halifax back up or something like that. Well, you know, some of the Canadian ports. But to be honest, there is no telling right now. There really isn't. Vicky, wow. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. The $20 super chat. Thank you so much. No, thank you. You're the best. Seriously, that really means a lot. I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you. Tampa definitely changed. Yeah. Look, I don't want to make anybody feel old, but 2011 was when I graduated high school, by the way. So just so you know. How about sailing from Puerto Rico? It's the same thing. Puerto Rico is still technically a U.S. port. So whatever ports are going to be open back up, they open Florida back up. Chances are they may open Puerto Rico back up. Since the territory of Puerto Rico is technically U.S. So I'd like to see support with a super chat, but I don't see the join button. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming everybody has a super chat button. If not, it doesn't matter, guys. Seriously, I appreciate the financial support. I really do for the channel. It means a lot. Goes a long way to keeping the channel run smoothly. But you guys can't give me super chats. I'm not knocking it. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. It means more than you know. But I would never, not do the channel or get mad at anybody for not supporting the channel. I'm a youngin'. I don't know. I don't feel like it, guys. I'm more than halfway to 30 now. I'm 27 years old. I'll be 28 in November. My back hurts. My leg hurts. I don't know. I feel it. I see a little gray hair coming in here somewhere. You guys see that? Not really, but... And thankfully, I'm not going bald yet. So I hope not, but, that's like my biggest fear of all time. It really is. I don't want to go bald. I'm sure the Bucks are going to have to a lot more this... Yeah, they will, especially with Brady. Yeah, I know I'm young. I know. You mean just wait? Wait for what? My biggest fear, though, I'm going to be upset when I can't wake up and do like a backflip anymore. I know that's crazy to say, but that's a huge fear that I have. I don't want to wake up and just be too sore and tired and old to be able to do a backflip and dance anymore. Guys, for real, though, but I don't know. I wish I could find like the fountain of youth somewhere and I could just, drink it and be young forever. I'd be happy. I don't want to get old. That's my biggest fear. Patriots Nation. Yeah, no, I still support the Patriots. It's still my team. Even though we got Brady, I'm happy about that. I don't care for the Bucks, but I will go to the games to watch Brady. That's for sure. My favorite port, Bermuda. As expensive as it is, I love Bermuda. My favorite place, hands down. It's beautiful there, and it just feels like it's so cut off from everywhere. I love Bermuda. Good time. Just take the boat, the ferry, go over to Hamilton, and just chill out there for the day. It's so nice. Glass Beach, Horseshoe Beach. I love Bermuda. 27. Oh, okay. No, I mean, I feel old. I really do. Did I grow up in Tampa? Yeah, for the most part. I moved here when I was 7. I'm originally from Chicago, south side of Chicago. And then I had to get some surgery on my legs. And then I had to get leg braces done on. And that happened in Atlanta, Birmingham. Then we moved to Atlanta. And then I moved to Florida. What about the dollar currency? Is it going down? No, the currency is not going down. But to be honest, nobody will know how the currency will react until the economy opens back up and people start spending money again, because it doesn't matter, right? Everybody's worried about inflation, deflation. That probably we won't even start to see that, if it is going to happen, until the economy opens back up and we see whether or not people are spending money. If people aren't spending money, then it's hard for you to say, okay, well, the value of the dollar is deflating. It can if money's not circulating. You have to see how all of that plays out. Speaking of money, I have a video coming up next week. No, you're awesome, by the way. Whoever just put that. Hold on, Tampa Bay Tech. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I was going to do, actually, I still am. I'm going to do a video next week talking about the idea and the possibility of a recession, because I want to know personally what you guys think about how things will change for the cruise ship industry if we do go into a recession, which we probably will if things don't change, right? I have an idea of how I think it's going to go down. I'm going to make a full dedicated video on that, because I think this goes outside of just what's happening with the cruise ship industry. If cruise lines open back up and the world gets back to normal and we go into, well, not even back to normal, if we go into a recession, it could be a whole nother monster that we're dealing with. Grew up in Chicago, lives in Tampa. Oh, wow, small world. But whoever said they went to Tampa Bay Tech, yeah, I graduated from, so I went to Armwood for 2 years, and then I graduated from Tampa Bay Tech. I went there for graphic design. Cruise book for next summer. Yes, the Carnival. So yeah, Carnival will definitely survive by next summer. I can guarantee it. If cruise lines don't open back up, Carnival still has enough money right now. And that's without getting additional loans or anything like that. They have enough money right now to last a whole nother year, 365 days without a single passenger. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to be okay either way. After they get everybody repatriated and stuff, it'll be fine. Why are cruise lines advertising in Europe and ports in Italy when they're not open this summer? Good question. Good question. My best guess is why they're advertising right now, because I know everybody's seen these advertisements all over in Facebook, Instagram. It's kind of annoying, to be honest with you, because we know cruise lines aren't open. But I think they're doing that in the event that things kind of take a turn for the better. Maria, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Rob. Everybody hit that like button for me. I greatly appreciate it. But I think they're doing it for the sole fact that if things, let's say, take a turn for the better and ports start opening back up, they don't have to re-advertise. Or it could just be that these cruise lines already had that advertisement campaign paid for before this whole thing happened, because that's usually how it works. Cruise lines and any company, if they're doing some kind of advertisement, they pay for it well in advance. So they say, all right, well, here, we're going to pay for these kind of deals, and we're going to do this and this and this and push these deals out for next summer, But either way, I mean, however way you look at it, they're probably just trying to be optimistic and make sure cruising stays on everybody's mind. All right, still coming on. Should I do anything with my deposit if I have cruise to December 2020 Royal Caribbean? I mean, honestly, if you already have the deposit, I would just say hold on to it and to see how things work out. I think I believe cruising will be back by that time, so just hold on to it. Yeah, I know. I've seen all the cruising ads. They're literally everywhere. You can't avoid them. You can't avoid the cruising ads right now. So, I mean, like I said, I just think they're trying to be optimistic, and they're trying to get in everybody's subconscious so that cruising stays on everyone's mind. Even if people are like, I'm tired of seeing these ads, like that's just it's a marketing strategy. You annoy people with stuff that they can't even do right now, but at the same time, they're subliminally putting cruising in your mind so that when cruising does come back, it's not gone. Right, to people. They're going to say, oh, wait, didn't cruise line still have that deal? You're going to go back and look for it. And even though you might not find that exact deal, you still might find something that you're interested in. Follow John Harold. He's very funny, informative. I've never heard of John Harold. I got to look him up. Definitely got to look up John Harold. So let's see here. Yeah, I mean, those advertisements are annoying, but again, there's some psychological aspect to it. NCL blowing up my phone trying to get me to book a cruise. Yeah, they're emailing me. And the thing is, like, even it's crazy. I guess I'm in their database because I work for them, but they email me like at least a couple times a week talking about my bookings and stuff. And I'm like, I have never booked a cruise. But again, they're doing that because they want to stay in people's mind for when they do return. That's my personal opinion on it. I think their marketing group right now is doing everything they can so that cruising is still relevant in people's mind when they start back up. are going to cold layup, which suggests 4 months before startup. Yeah, you're right, Maria. You're right. Again, so I think that's the kind of thing that people just aren't thinking about. There's so much of a process, but even before, like there's going to be the cold layup. There's still the airlines that have to start back up. Cruise lines have to get back in touch with their suppliers, given that they haven't gone bankrupt or gone out of business. But there's so many different factors and dynamics and moving parts to all of this. It's insane. It really is. Michelle, thank you for the super chat. Love your video and dedication. Thank you. Seriously, no, thank you for watching. My channel would be nothing without you guys watching. You have no idea. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you so much. So anybody got any more questions? Facebook keeps giving me ads for Hawaiian. Yeah, they're gonna, guys, they are going to keep pushing the advertisements. Again, in the event, and again, it's my opinion, but two scenarios. In the event that they either have cruise lines open back up early, if things kind of work out and ports open back early, or they're just trying to subliminally stay in everyone's mind so that when cruising does come back, you're going to naturally want to go look for that deal that you saw on Facebook. And even though you might not find that deal that you were looking for, you might find something similar and still be inclined to book. You know, for them, that's marketing 101. Like you want to keep people in that loop because cruising has spent so many years and decades building up such a base of loyal, avid cruisers. They don't want to lose that. So they figure if they keep tempting people with stuff that even though may not technically exist or be possible, they want to stay in everybody's mind. Basically said no. Yeah, I know. You know, I'm really worried about that. I was talking to my girlfriend about that. That's a big deal because I need to go to Europe ASAP. I got flights booked for Europe, so I don't know how that's going to work out, but I just hope that's not true. I will let go of my cruise in August. I'm somewhat optimistic about August 1st, but I'm not sold on it, to be honest with you guys. I'm really not. Best cruise you've taken out of Tampa, Royal Caribbean Carnival. I've never taken a cruise out of Tampa, to be honest. I've flown to other ships. I've never taken a cruise out of Tampa. So, yeah, I think as far as this whole thing goes, I'm trying to be optimistic. I really am, but who's to say what's going to happen between now and August? There's a lot that has to happen. There's a lot that has to happen before August comes back into the picture, in my personal opinion. Before August is even a thing. Right, we got what, 2 months, not even, and you guys see how fast these months are just rolling by, right? Nobody can say for sure when exactly the cruise lines are gonna, have everything they need to officially open back up. Like I said in one of my previous videos that I did with regards to Carnival, there are older small ships out of Tampa. Our port's not big enough, but out of what Carnival is doing right now with these 8 cruise ships, they're just trying to hold on to that group of hope of people that are actually just real set to go on a cruise. I don't even think they even know for fact. I don't think anybody can say for sure. Even the people that are in charge of cruising can say when cruising is going to resume. But like I said, if Carnival sets these dates, I think this is kind of like, in my personal opinion, like the last straw before people legitimately start giving up hope that cruising is going to resume anytime soon. But that's my personal opinion. If cruise lines are like, hey, we're going to do these ships, and put out the itinerary, and then they don't follow through with that, I think we could have a bigger problem later on in the the year as far as cruising. There's going to be a lot of angry people if cruising does not happen August 1st. And a lot of people are going to start losing hope, and they're going to stop requesting the future cruise credit, and they're going to more so start leaning on to the refunds. Let me see here. I think I saw another question. No Americans will be in Europe until. Yeah, I know. I really hope that changes. I really do, because I need to get to Europe ASAP. I love Europe so much, and if they shut down, I think right now the government is trying to stop all international travel in or outside of the U.S. And I hope that doesn't happen, because I got places I got to go. I've been in America for 6 months now, and I'm going crazy. So I love America. America is a cool place to build an opportunity for yourself. But other than that, with my family being here, I don't care much for America. I like to travel outside of America. I've been to every state. I've seen it. I'm not really that excited to be able to only do domestic travel around the U.S. I'd go back to Alaska, but that's it, really. So August cruise, here, I'll go back to that. Let's see. My August cruise with Carnival has been canceled, yet my Celebrity cruise line is not. That's strange. Lord RC is going to make an announcement. To be honest with you, it's probably going to be It'll be a while before Royal Caribbean says anything official. I think not a while, but they're not going to go right back after Carnival, because I don't know. I guess I would assume every cruise line doesn't want to be that person that's just like following the lead of somebody else. But it's kind of inevitable at this point. But until Royal Caribbean makes an announcement or a celebrity, you're not going to hear from either one of them, to be honest. Carnival's made the announcement. They're going to give it a couple days, restructure, figure out how the change of itinerary and plans are working for Carnival. And then the other cruise lines are going to follow suit based off of how people are reacting to what's going on with Carnival. That's probably how it's going to go down, to be honest with all of you. I love Europe. I love Europe too. One of my favorite places. I love it. I've been to Hawaii one time. I was only there for like not even 2 days. I was there with the Harlem Globetrotters. We had a show, and then we were literally out like right after that. So, wrestling comments. Let's talk about wrestling. Croatia. I just love Europe, period. I've been to Eastern Europe, been all over Europe, Sweden, you name it. I love Europe. One of my favorite like parts of the world to go to. Seabourn has canceled all. Yeah, I saw that about Seabourn. Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. I'm really not. But again, I think as time goes on, we're going to see more and more of these cancellations. And I've seen some cruise lines. What was it? I believe it was Princess and Holland America. Anybody can confirm? Didn't they cancel, I believe, for the rest of the year in Europe? Or as of right now, they have? Work on a cruise ship. The job I want right now. You should apply then. I mean, I don't know if they're hiring right now. But let me see. Which celebrity just canceled? Yeah. I wish they would all just go ahead and get it over with. But, you know, the cruise lines, they're trying to be strategic about this whole thing. They really are. They just want to be strategic and make sure they can, you know, play on both ends. Like, they can be somewhat honest, but they can also just keep that core group of avid cruisers and still in the loop as far as wanting to cruise and being optimistic. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, so I did a video on that the other day. They have canceled all European cruises. But, you know, that really bothers me because, yeah, Europe has a lot of issues going on. But you got America being stricter, United States being more strict than everywhere else. And Europe is the first to cancel for the rest of the year. Do you guys think that the United States could cancel cruising for the rest of the year? I mean, I've done a video saying it is possible. I hope not. I really do hope not, but we'll see. Brandon, man, thank you so much for the super chat. Man, like, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Let me see. When we start back cruising, you have to come on Harmony and watch the fine line. I'd love to. I'd love to go on Harmony of the Seas. I really would. Let me know when. I'm definitely down. I say, guys, whenever this whole thing goes, I'm literally just stashing money aside so I can go ahead and just like book cruises whenever they get back up and running. Because as much as I like sitting here and just talking, you guys notice I have a lot of energy. I swear, I don't know. I might have ADHD or something. I mean, no offense to anybody that has it, but I have a lot of energy. And I like being out and about. I would love to be on a cruise ship, maybe just doing reviews, checking out different cruises. I think that'd probably be a little bit more of my strong point. But, you know, as right now, here we are. We're here at my little desk thing that I built for everybody. Do I think Europe will start before the U.S.? No. I think it's possible. But I don't think so. I think that with everything going on, a lot of people are paying attention to Europe, to the U.S. now. So, Tampa to Cozumel. Oh, nice. If you're in Tampa, reach out to me. I live literally down the street from the port. Of you and your girlfriend in France. Where's my other phone? I mean, all right, I can show you on this phone. This phone's kind of busted, but yeah, give me a second. Hold on. I don't want to get rid of that. Let me see if I can find a picture. Let me see. There's one of us in Ireland. I really got to clear this stuff out, don't I? Man, Lauren, I just realized we have a lot of pictures together. Is Lauren still on there? Hold on. When is the thing over? You must come to cruise with Seabourn. I've never cruised with Seabourn. I'd love to. I really would. I'd love to cruise with Seabourn. I think it'd be a great opportunity. Let me see. So we were in like this French village. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that was me and my girl. So if you guys haven't seen yet, but we were in some, if Lauren, if you're still on here, if you can name that village that we were at, I'd appreciate it. But if not, it's all good. Let me see. Canceled twice, and we're currently September 26th. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to plenty of people that still continue to have to reschedule cruises and stuff, and it's just one of those things. I've had to reschedule my flight for Europe, twice now. So, you know what I mean? They're going to keep pushing these dates back and pushing them back until things start working out. But again, we can only hope that August 1st works out. She's beautiful. Thank you, Olga. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, she is. I know. I'm a lucky guy, right? But I mean, come on, look at me, right? Are you surprised that I was able to get such a beautiful girl? No, I'm joking. What about the restart in the U.S.? Heard it's negotiating the cruise lines, charter flight requirements, financial. Yeah, it's going to be a while for the U.S. Yeah, there is no way to really put it. To be honest, guys, it will definitely be a while, and I'm trying to be optimistic about August, but at this point, nobody can really say. Always listen, give you advice. Supposed to be going on the Oasis. Okay, well, hopefully that works out for you in September. I really do. Like I said, I mean, October, September is when I had an idea as to when cruising will restart, but maybe August will actually work out. Good personality, keep it up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Maria, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Beautiful couple. Thank you. Yeah, we're like a power couple, right? All right, celebrity cruising in June. That's not happening, to be honest with you, Lori. Celebrity will not be cruising in June. I mean, you gotta think that's literally next month. That won't be happening. I don't believe anywhere in the world. Celebrity cruising in June is not a thing, especially with everything going on right now. Right? Celebrities still trying to get their people off their ships. Because Europe will allow Americans to come over because we aren't tested like them. Will you say they won't allow us to come over? I hope not. Oh, thank you, Brittany. Honesty is the way at the end of the day. Like, I mean, sometimes you got to be cruel to be kind. And if people aren't going to be honest, we're lost. Imagine if everybody in the world just lied 24/7. The world would have been over like 100 years ago. All the cruise ships will be back up and operational sometime mid next summer. I know everybody's talking about that. Everybody's talking about that. How expensive is it to stay in Apple? What do you mean stay in Apple? Like the big Apple, like New York? I don't live in New York. What do you mean Apple? My third rebook with Carnival. Wow. Yeah, thank you, Diane. Yeah, guys, hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Let's at least get to 100. There's 148 people here. Everybody hit that like button. Saw the video with you and your girlfriend in France. Too cute. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love France, and my girl is amazing. She's been sticking through me since, with me since day one, since the Globetrotter days. So, yeah, and I've definitely put her through a lot. So, Lauren, I love you. I appreciate you so much. So, where is she from? She's from France. I met her in Toulouse, France, like 2 years ago. So let's see, what else we got here? I know I missed something. Hold on. Do they offer crew members Wi-Fi packages a good rate? No, not really. I promise you'll blow all your money. As a crew member, you'll blow all your money trying to mess with Wi-Fi. What do you call it? The Big Apple? Yeah, that's true. There's so many big cities now, though. As far as the Wi-Fi goes, let's see. If I remember correctly, I used to buy in increments. Like they had like $10. They had $5 packages. They had $10 packages. I used to buy, it was like 150 minutes for like $20. But you know what I mean? Like if you really factor all of that in, that's really not a lot of time. It really isn't, That's like 2 hours and some change that's a call. You know what I mean? If you got a legitimate phone call with somebody, you're probably gonna be talking for like an hour or two, especially if it's somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and it's somebody that you normally talk with. You gotta think that's like $20 for one phone call. And, that adds up really quickly. I've seen people spend like $1,000 a month on their phone bill or the Wi-Fi bill alone. I'm sure a lot of the crews, yeah. In every port, there's always that one place near, like in Bermuda, there was like this tent that was set up for the crew members. You couldn't even sit down in there. It was so packed. Everybody was trying to get on the Wi-Fi over there. So it just depends, really. A lot of people just wait till they get to the port because if you get sucked in that loop of buying onboard Wi-Fi as a crew member, you're going to be out of luck because I promise you'll spend all your money. Yeah, it will go fast. Exactly. Trust me. I know 150 minutes for $20 sounds kind of like a good deal. But again, after that 2 hours or 2 hours and some change goes out the window, you're going to need some more. And that's not just a phone call. That's you got to use a FaceTime, right? FaceTime, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're using for the Wi-Fi, it's counting towards those minutes. Now, there's ways to cheat the system, but you get caught, you get fired. So. Predicted high. Guys, all right, look, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Leif or Olsen. Every year is projected to be a bad hurricane season. Every year they say, oh, this is going to be the worst hurricane season in the world. And I never listen to that, guys. Every year they say it's going to be a bad hurricane season. So to my understanding, just ride the wave, so to speak, I guess. Like, we'll believe it when it gets here. They always say that this is going to be the worst hurricane season. Nobody can deny that. Every year it's projected to be the worst hurricane season in the history of the world. And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we'll get hit with a hurricane every now and then. Yeah, I know, ride the wave. But we'll get hit with hurricanes, but nobody can ever say for sure that every hurricane season is going to be bad or worse than the other. You never know. You never really know. We're supposed to get snow tonight here in Massachusetts. Huh. Brandon, 10 for 1 hour. Yeah, I'm telling you, they had the 10 for 1 hour, but again, as you paid, if you paid more, they give you a little bit more to sweeten up the deal. Like, if you paid $10 for an hour, but if you paid 20, they give you 2 hours and some change, because they're like, all right, well, you're doubling it up. They're going to throw you a nickel. You get what I'm saying? That's how it worked on board. So I believe it was like $20 to get you, as opposed to like 120 minutes, like 2 hours. It would round it up and give you, I believe it was like 140, 150 minutes. So that's how it worked on board. They take away they might. I think some package deals are definitely going to be taken away on board. I can almost guarantee it. The drink packages might be a little bit more expensive, and the all-inclusive stuff that they had before with cruising going forward for the passengers are probably going to be deducted in some way, shape, or form. Anybody got any other questions? It probably helps if you American phone when you're docked in the U.S. Yeah, it does help. It definitely does help. But there's always some Wi-Fi nearby. Love the vids. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Logan. I appreciate it. Thank you. Any new medical guidelines to travel on? Nope. That's the thing, that's why I don't think working on cruise. Yeah, I did work on a cruise ship before. But that's the thing right now, which is why I'm not as optimistic with the whole cruising in August thing, because they have not come out with any type of guidelines or things that are going to change moving forward. I worked in entertainment, peace. But I don't, the cruise lines have not stepped forward and come out with any type of guidelines or new rules or social distancing rules or regulations. They haven't come out with any of that. So, you know what I mean? If, let's say, for example, you have to get some kind of health passport, right? I've mentioned this in my videos, but if that happens, how quickly can people reorganize and go get all that done before they need to cruise? You know what I mean? So, mask, yeah. I've seen pictures of people with that have pretend mask tan lines going on. I think it's going to be a normal thing pretty soon. Can you go live from port? Hold on. From a port to close to you? Yeah, I've been thinking about that actually. I might go over to my port. If you guys want to see that, I might do a live over here in Tampa at the port. But I was going to wait until they have some cruises over there, some ships over there, because they've been kind of in and out. They were there for a little while. They'd be there for a week at a time. But usually now they just come in, refuel, and just leave. So they're never there for long. Yeah, 58 meg. Yeah, you can either buy, as far as the crew, if you wanted to buy Wi-Fi, you can either buy the megabytes or whatever. You can buy the space, or you can buy the time. To me, it was just simpler just to pay for the time. Will Carnival Mardi Gras still go in November? I don't think so. I believe I saw some information saying that it was already delayed, and they don't have a set date yet for the Mardi Gras. By the time the crew members get home, it may be around the time cruises. Yeah, you see, that's peace. I worked for their Norwegian Escape, by the way. Yeah, sorry, I know you asked a couple times. I worked on the Norwegian Escape. As far as the crew members getting home, that process is going to take a while, right? They're not just going to their regular itinerary, plans. They're going to other continents and taking people home. And I'm not sure, it's not going to be just go there, drop them off, and leave. There's going to be some kind of protocol or some kind of system to get those crew members off without risking the possibility of infecting everybody back on land. It's going to take a while. And by the time everything is said and done, I could see it being around August or sometime near that. And then they got to try to restructure their system to fly everybody back on board. I don't see that. I don't see that part. Do I believe cruising? I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic for cruising returning sometime into fall, not end of summer, not August. I'm trying to be optimistic about it. I somewhat am, but I've been saying it since day one. There's a possibility of cruising not happening this year, but I'm looking more at cruising resuming around October, September area. Do I think the length of the cruises will be shortened because of the massive impact of the pandemic? Do I think cruise lines will push for shorter? Yeah, I think so. Starting out, I think so. I think so. I answer that question about the crew in a minute, guys. But I think that the cruise lines will definitely at least do their best. Like, I couldn't see the world cruises going back up. I couldn't see those 2-week cruises going back up. That'd just be dumb to do starting out of the gate. They're going to start with the shortest cruises possible, right? They're probably going to do like a Florida to the Bahamas and back. That'll probably be one of the first if they open the Bahamas back up. But you get what I'm saying. If there are shorter cruises available, they're probably going to jump on those first. Hey, we hit 100 likes. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. But I think they're going to do the shorter cruises first, and then they're going to move on from there personally. Now, let me see. What was that question somebody had about the crew? Sorry, I missed that one. Are the crews, hold on. For the cruise ships, for the cruise still on ships, are you getting paid while they are in quarantine? It depends on the cruise line. I've talked to some of my friends. Some of them aren't getting paid while they're stuck on the ship because a lot of them have finished their contract, meaning they're technically not working anymore. But it's kind of like that catch-22. They're still stuck at their job, so to speak, because they're stuck on the ship. But on the other hand, they're not working. Now, I've seen that crew members are getting odd jobs to do here and there, like cleaning, in order to make extra income while they're stuck on board. But overall, it's just a crappy situation. It really is. It's a horrible situation for the crew right now. Some are getting paid, some are getting partial payment, some aren't getting paid anything. It's just, it doesn't go across the board. And a lot of cruise lines are being hush-hush about it because the last thing they want getting out is that they aren't paying their crew members that unfortunately are stuck on board and can't go anywhere. So I don't have all the info, but again, I'm not going to name and start throwing out cruise lines. But I've talked to some of my friends. Some of them aren't getting paid. Some of them are. Would you be required to wear the mask and gloves? I mean, I could see that happening, to be honest. As far as the mask and glove thing, nobody would like it. That much is a fact. I don't think anybody would like the mask and glove thing. A lot of people won't cruise because of it because, I did a video talking about that. And Don Family Vacations, he made a good point. It's like, on a cruise or when you go on a cruise and when you go to Disney, anywhere like that, naturally you go on those things because you want to escape reality and not be reminded of it. So yeah, washy. But I just think things are gonna change so much that a lot of the overall experience of cruising will change for a good while until things somewhat return to normal. Some things are gonna change forever. Some things are gonna be a little bit of an annoyance for people for a good while. So as far as the gloves, I could see at minimum, they're going to have the crew members wearing gloves or at least face masks whenever cruising does resume. So it would, definitely, I guess, deteriorate some of the experience that you would have on board. Do you think cruise lines will go to private islands? I would believe that that's what they would aim for first. I think when cruising does return, I think the first thing they're going to try to do is if they can't get, like, let's say the cruises to nowhere where they just sail out to the ocean and come back, their first land-based areas, if they can't get approval to go to the Bahamas or anywhere like that, they're going to try to get approval to go to their private islands. Because the thing is, let's say if you go to, Great Stirrup Cay, NCL, technically, some of these private islands are still technically the Bahamas. So I don't know how the restrictions go as far as, all that whole thing. But, you know what I mean? I would assume that when cruising does resume, the cruise lines are gonna try to aim for their private islands first, and then kind of get off from there. Private islands, yeah, they're definitely easier to get approval. Like if you got private islands, which Royal Caribbean has a private island over by the Bahamas that's technically in the Bahamas. NCL does too. I would assume that they're gonna try to get approval because it's gonna be a lot easier because they technically own that island. They would have to get, I believe, government approval from. No, we're not what? I would assume they'd have to get some kind of government approval from the Bahamas either way because they might be in their space, in their zone, and they might have to get approval in order to get on get onto the private island. But that'd probably be their first bet, my personal opinion. The crap they spay on your hands with Norwegian, it's making, yeah. So we might have to do it. Hold on. And aren't the private islands manned by, yeah. All right, no, they aren't. Some of them are. It depends on the private island. Some of them are manned by people from the Bahamian Islands, right? And then you also have the crew members that get off before the guests do and go man certain areas like the bar, all that stuff. But yeah, there would be some maintenance done by some people of these the mainlands of the islands. PR in December. Didn't they just have another massive? Did they? I haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, I worked on the Norwegian Escape. But I haven't heard. Has anybody heard about Puerto Rico having a hurricane? I mean, I don't live far. Florida is not far from Puerto Rico. We would have felt the effects. I don't think they've gotten hit with a hurricane, to be honest with you. So I think cruise lines will start registering their ships in the United States just in case something happens and they have government. No, it'd be too expensive. If cruise lines have to, they had an earthquake. When? When did they have an earthquake? But if cruise lines register in the U.S., it would be the end of cruising in the U.S., to be honest. My favorite country is Ireland and Mexico. But if cruise lines do register, if they do register in the U.S., it's going to cost them too much money, to be honest. And the experience would go away completely, right? I ain't got nothing against Americans whatsoever, but the overall experience would definitely go down. You know, we're in Ireland. I mean, I like Dublin. Dublin's cool. I would love to go to Cork. Nuri's cool. It's just outside of Belfast. Cool place. So, wow, I gotta look up to that. When was the earthquake? Was it today? I haven't heard about that. No, I don't work for Norwegian anymore. The show that I was doing on board doesn't exist anymore. Do I think NCL will be bought out by Royal Caribbean or Carnival? It could be. I think Norwegian could be bought out by not even them. They could potentially be bought out with Virgin. You know, in order to save, let's say, Virgin cost on building a ton of more ships, even though they have more coming out, I could see maybe somebody else like Virgin or MSC acquiring NCL. I don't think it's going to happen, but especially with the money that they have now. Really? Oh, okay. I have to look that up. I swear I thought an earthquake happened a while back. I didn't know they had another one. U.S. and the pandemic. So how are cruise lines going to go over there? Yeah. How are they? I don't know. South Central America behind the U.S. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. How do you see cruising in October for Disney? I could see cruising really starting to open back up in October, September, that area. Not as a whole, not every ship back in the ocean, but I could see it happening. They're having a session of earthquakes. I have to look that up. I did not know that. Huh. I try to stay on top of those things. I didn't know they had a hurricane in Puerto Rico. I know they had one a couple months ago, like the beginning of the year, but since you work for NCL, what cruise lines is better? It depends. I would never say any cruise line. I think everybody can agree. There technically is no better cruise line, but it depends on what you want, right? If you want, let's say, the best bang for your buck, in my personal opinion, and you're a little bit more lively of a person, Carnival is good for you. You want something a little bit more professional, then you could definitely go to NCL without spending the money, without going to their higher up lines like Oceania or something like that. NCL is a good line to go to. You want to, let's say, the best of all worlds, Royal Caribbean, because they have a lot of things you can do. You got cruises with rock climbing, and they got a good party over there. So it personally, in my opinion, I haven't been on every cruise line, but it kind of depends on what it is that you want at the end of the day. Like, what do you want out of a cruise? There is no better or worse cruise line. So the Virgin has a vision. Yeah, I know they do. But I'm saying if they were to acquire NCL, they could potentially start bringing in a lot more revenue than if they were to just have 2 or 3 ships as far as Virgin goes. If they were to acquire NCL, it would mean a whole nother set of revenue for them. May 2nd. Okay, I have to look that up. I didn't know that. What's wrong with Carnival Fantasy? I haven't heard anything about it going on. I don't know. Anybody know anything? What's going on with the Carnival Fantasy? Was it getting remodeled? Was it getting renovations? What happened to the Carnival Fantasy? Carnival Breeze in September out of Port Canaveral. Yeah, I think so. Again, that's me being optimistic, but I think so. Can you include other social media accounts to your videos? Yeah, I mean, I didn't think anybody wanted it. I really didn't. Peace, what do you mean why? Why what? Yeah, if you guys want my other social media, yeah, usually I try to do the Facebook group, but if you want my Instagram, I'll start adding that in at the opening of my videos. The region was fun, went on, hung out with the crew members. Okay, nice, nice. What happens with the Pride of America? Did you receive government aid? I mean, I don't work for Pride of America, but last I heard, they were trying to get people off because they were costing them too much money. Can you bring your own hand sanitizer? Last time I checked, you could. What do you see ships reporting? When? September, October. Yeah, okay. So moving forward with my videos, I'll start putting in my Instagram and all that in case you guys want to follow. I mean, for my Instagram, I put up whatever. I put up a lot of my breakdancing videos on there, travel, anything really. I'm starting to do speaking events as well whenever all this is going. Whenever all this is done, I'll be doing speaking events. So I'll be trying to push more of that motivational speaking stuff onto my Instagram. So if you guys want to follow that, yeah, by all means do it. But I don't, that's my plan for my Instagram. Starting new itineraries that share the same one as Oceania. Yeah, I believe so. I think so. I think a lot of these itineraries are definitely going to be similar moving forward. They have to be, because not every single port is just going to open back up. Just because cruising is starting to be available, or will start to be available, let's say supposedly around August, does not mean every cruise port is going to say, oh, well, if cruising's back up, we're going to open back up. It's not going to work that way. It's going to be on the individual ports and the governments to decide if they want cruising back into their ports. Just wrapping up work for the day. Oh, all right, nice. So let's see what else we got. Thank you for the vlogs. Thanks for watching. No, you're cool. You're the cool one, Martin. All right, because Pride of America is part of NCL. Did that ship get a bailout? No, it didn't get a bailout, no. Registered in the U.S. or not, it does not get a bailout because NCL as a whole is not registered in the U.S. Final Fantasy is leaving January, mobile 2022. Carnival has not said yet where it will go or if they may retire it. Yeah, I mean, the Carnival Fantasy, quote me if I'm wrong, that's a pretty old ship. I mean, they might scrap it, who knows? I mean, they got other ships coming out, so, you know what I mean? You got the Panorama and then you got the Mardi Gras, you know what I mean? Why would they, at some point, they're probably going to sell it off or whatever, cut it up. Some of the shows for, yeah, they're definitely going to cut. So I can almost guarantee it. When cruising does first return, that social distancing rule is going to be in effect, right? They're going to cut down the capacity that are allowed in these shows. In the restaurant, it's going to be all about that. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, see, Fantasy's old. They're probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they scrapped it. I wouldn't be surprised if they sold it to somebody or whatever. Do highlight supports, you visit it. Yeah, I plan on it, yeah. But I think I'm going to make fresh videos. I have some footage here and there of the ports that I've visited. But right now, like I said, I'm just putting as much money as I can to the side at the moment so that I can start traveling again to these ports. Now, what I'm planning on doing is going to Mexico pretty soon. I got to get some dental work done. But I'm probably going to go to Playa del Carmen, which is the mainland to Cozumel. So even if ships aren't running, but we're allowed to travel again, I can still go to Cozumel, check that place out. If you guys want to see that video, I might do that because I know where all the good stuff is in Cozumel. Love that place. Well, most of these ports, by the way, because we were there like at least once or twice a week. So I know where most, like as far as the Caribbean and stuff, I've been to all those ports, so I know where everywhere is as far as where somebody would want to go. So yeah, that's the plan. Sure. All right. The old Carnival celebration is still in the Bahamas. The older one is the Fantasy. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised they got rid of the Fantasy. You can only keep, you know what I mean, with all these ships coming in now. Well, who knows, right? With this budget cut and stuff, they might keep it around a little bit longer, to be honest. Need to get a new ship. Stick on mark on the Magic. Yeah. Excuse me. You're going to Cabo and, oh yeah, Diane, you told me about that. Do the crew members have to stay scheduled to crew areas or if they're free to roam wherever they want off duty? It depends, right? It depends on your position on board. I was able to go wherever I want. Like with NCL, you have what you would call a yellow card and a white card. The white cards weren't allowed to leave the crew area technically, right? They had limitations on when they were allowed to. If they wanted to go to a restaurant, they had to schedule it. Me, on the other hand, I was allowed to go pretty much wherever I went on the ship with the exception of a few select restaurants and a few areas of the ship. But I can go to all the clubs on board. I was able to go to the buffet. We were allowed to go wherever we wanted. But it just depends. But typically the people that speak like fluent English are the ones that are allowed to go out to the main areas. I mean, for obvious reasons. If people can't speak English and let's say a guest asks you because you have a name tag where something is and you can't, you're going to take away that overall experience for the guest. So it kind of makes sense. It's kind of messed up, but it also makes sense if you think about it. Cruise lines cannot be, yeah. Exactly. Well, they can't be registered in the U.S., but people were saying, what if they were negotiate with the government and become flagged in the U.S.? I can't see that happening, but honestly, who knows? I mean, I think it would cause a huge problem for the cruising industry. It would change the whole dynamic of cruising for sure. So, whoop. All right, let's see. Yeah, I couldn't see cruising happening in America. As far as cruise lines being registered in the U.S., I don't see that. They're not going to be the same without the shows and entertainment. Yeah, I've been saying that since day one. Like, I know a lot of people may see the entertainment as like a piece of just a piece of what goes on ships, but entertainments are a huge component. Huge component. If imagine a cruise line without people greeting you, without any shows going on, it would be just a crappy ship. Your sea days would be not good. Imagine if they didn't have the singers and musicians or anybody on board the cruise ships. You'd hate it. You'd absolutely hate it if they had no entertainment on board these ships. So. Will I come back to NCL? If they offer the right amount of money, yeah, I would. I don't plan on it. I don't plan on going back to NCL. I'd rather be like an actual like contractor. Like when I was with the show that I was with, I was an independent contractor, but I was still kind of under their rule and kind of employed. But there's different contracts you can get. Like if I were to get a solo contract on board an NCL ship, yeah, hell yeah, I would take a contract. But otherwise, it's not really worth the money. I make more money now being here at home, being able to do what I want than when I was stuck on board that ship for 6 months. I had time to do stuff, but you get serious cabin fever being stuck on that ship. Yeah, it is all about entertainment. People don't look at it that way, but entertainment is like the key component to a cruise or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, the money would absolutely have to be right for me to take another cruise ship contract. You know what I mean? Why would I do that when I can go on a cruise whenever I want and pay for it? Doesn't make sense. They'd have to offer me more money than I'm making now, which I don't see that happening. So, all right, let's see. Yeah, you're right. Cruise is nothing without entertainment and food. I have a cruise date leaving out of Mobile, the Fantasy. You think they're going to cancel? I don't think so. My date that I believe that cruising will return will be around September. Let's see. Do entertainers get offered incentive to return for another contract? If you negotiate, how much does the NCL pay? I did a full pay video when I first started the ship life. If you guys want to scroll through my channel, I talk about all of that. But the pay varies, right? You got some people that are making no money. You got some people that are making great money. Nibbles, as always, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. Great live. Just wondering, are the crew members allowed to gamble? No. If you are, hold on. Give me a second. Nibbles, if you are caught doing anything in the casino as a crew member other than walking past, you can get fired. You're subject to being fired. Me being the captain? No. If I was the captain of a ship, I'd crash it. I promise you. Come on. You have to be like an engineer and everything. But yeah, if there are certain things you are just absolutely not allowed to do, right? There's so many no-nos with being a crew member, right? If you are not just passing by the casino, if you're looking because you could potentially be, they could see you cheating for somebody theoretically. They could see you trying to gamble or whatever. They will automatically fire you if they catch you actually trying to gamble. If they catch you doing anything other than walking past the casino, they'll fire you. Just like they'll fire you if they catch you in one of the rooms of a guest on board. Are there on-board internships? Not to my knowledge, no, because they don't want people to see that side of the world as an internship. A job as a crew member on board is not something somebody would intern for, to be honest with you. Yeah, now you know. That's why, if you ever go to the casino on the ship, you'll never see any crew member just roaming around the casino. But that's any casino. They're pretty strict. They don't want somebody thinking somebody's being cheated on or anything like that. You know what I mean? If there's a casino, let's say if there's a poker event going on, last thing they want is people walking around and thinking, oh, okay, well, this guy's probably running numbers for somebody. They don't want that happening. It's a college party. Yeah, exactly. Scott knows what's up. He's been on the ship. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about being on the ship, I can answer all. And if not, Scott can either attest or he can talk about all that too. Yeah, there's a lot of rules working on board cruise ships, and there's just so much, honesty, the amazing. Do you find your honesty lose you jobs? No, not really. No. What kind of jobs? Like what, on the ship? No. Here's the thing that a lot of people are, I guess, I don't want to say confused about, but the thing is, first of all, I don't work for any cruise line right now, right? But even when I was doing my video, and I was talking about more in-depth stuff, when I started this channel, I was on the ship, right? Had no problems, had other contracts lined up. Even up until this pandemic, I had another contract to go on board a ship. It wasn't as a dancer, so I wasn't really following up with it, but I had another contract to go on board. I could see if my channel had 1 million plus subscribers or something like that, people aren't watching my videos like that. I can go to any interview, do any kind of application on a cruise, and they would not recognize who I am. I get it. It's a new world that we live in. There's social media everywhere. But before anybody recognized who I am, I'd probably be already on the ship working, to be honest with you guys. You should make a video, great places to visit and port. I will do that. The thing is, like, with these videos, and it's one thing I noticed after my contract, people like a visual. I can't make a video talking about the ports if I'm not there. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know Chris Wong got his stuff shut down, but that was a sensitive matter. On a regular point before the coronavirus, he would have been fine. He would have been good. What I do as an entertainment, I'm a breakdancer and acrobat. Spin on my head and stuff and do backflips. What job has been your favorite? The show I did on the NCL Escape after midnight. I didn't do anything. I would just show up, do a backflip, leave, spin around, and leave. Do you know something about the environment team on board the cruise ship? Like, what do they do really after they finish their bachelor degree? I don't know. I've never heard about the environment team. What do you mean, like the environment team? What do you mean by that? I have a video in my channel of me dancing. I mean, I could pin it up somewhere. I don't know if you're on my Facebook group, but if you want to do that, I can send it to you. But I have a video on there. It says performing around the world or something like that. That's one of my demo reels that I use for my gigs and stuff. People would be surprised to see how small the crew quarters are. Yeah, there are also 2 or 3 dining rooms for the crew depending on your position. Yeah. Well, we only had one on the Escape. And I did a tour. If you guys look at my older videos, I did a tour of my cabin. I was one of the few people that had like my own cabin. I have to share with anybody, but it's tiny. It didn't bother me because I'm an adaptable person. But if you guys want to see that, I did a tour of my cabin when I was on the Escape. What cruise line do I think won't survive this? The smaller ones. I could see the smaller cruise lines, the smaller sister companies of maybe like, you know, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian. You know what I mean? I don't know. Who knows? Oceania might just fold. Who knows? It depends, really. Yeah, we'll see, though. I don't know. Yeah, crew should not be in staterooms. Oh, no, should not be. Easy to kidnap my room steward. Yeah, I agree. Do the crew get enough sunlight and fresh? No, they definitely don't. The crew do not get enough fresh air and sunlight on board, I promise you. Their crew members, I promise you, especially the ones that are like engineers and stuff and down in the engine room, they don't see the light of day for like weeks at a time. I mean, a lot of it's by choice because you have the option to go to on the NCL Escape, we had an area called Deck 8 where we can go outside. It was like the very front of the ship, and even passengers weren't allowed up there, right? It's like the bow of the ship. So the crew members would go hang out there, smoke, get some air, some fresh sunlight, you know. But no, I mean, there were crew members that would stay down there, and yeah, exactly. Tell them, Scott. Yeah, you have to. Because like there'd be times where you just couldn't get the exposure to the sunlight or be outside like you want to. Did I ever hook up with a guest? Yeah, my girl, when I brought her on board. Yes, sir, I did. I stayed in her room too, and I didn't even get in trouble. All right, what else we got, guys? Any more questions? Cool, all right. Why do the workers have so many jobs? The workers, my bad. I'm sorry, guys. Look, no, by the way, I did say, I put on my YouTube on the video, right? If you look at the fine print, it says this video is 18 and up, all right? So I can say whatever I want. I just don't want to get demonetized, so I'm not going to say curse words. So you asked, Tanya, why do the crew members have so many jobs? They have so many jobs because of the simple fact that there's physically no way to hire enough people on board to do for every single isolated job. So there's so much that has to get done around the clock, especially in the service industry. You can't just hire somebody to wait the tables and then hire somebody to do this and this and this. It doesn't work that way. So it really doesn't work that way. How many hours did I work? When I was on the Escape, I worked like no hours. I worked like, I kid you not, like no joke, maybe 15 hours a week, something like that, 20 hours a week. I did nothing on board. And I've been very open about that since day one. I didn't do anything on board. I had a lot of time on my hands. But everybody else is working easily 8 to 10 hours per day. How do they work that? How do they work what? How do they work what? Hold on, I think I saw something else that I want to see. I saw your video about the crew member who went overboard. Are the mental health professionals on? They have people you can talk to, but they typically just have a number. They give you a line. Seriously, what? Peace. But they have a line that you can call, like a mental health line that you can call, and that's really it, to be honest. And they're not that great. That mental health line is crap. You know, I always tell people, if you're going through stuff, because everybody does, call a friend. Call a friend. What allowances do the technical group? What do you mean as far as allowance? Any news about Royal Caribbean? No official news yet. I've heard that they're trying to extend or cancel until September, but I'm going to confirm before I make a video on that. Let me see. I think I missed something. Hold on. CEO has a YouTube video reading between the lines. They will be paused for a while. Yeah. You know, one thing I like about the CEO of Royal Caribbean, unlike the one for Princess and the CEO for the Carnival Corporation, that guy is very, very straightforward. And you can tell he's kind of a little bit more sincere as opposed to the other people. He's real honest about what he's saying, and I appreciate that. I can respect that, to be honest. A bad storm? Yeah. We've had to glide around a couple of hurricanes, to be honest with you, around Bermuda and stuff like that. Yeah. Honestly, we never had we had some bad storms where the ship pretty much almost like tipped over at one point, but I slept like a baby. Like those days the ship was like rocking and stuff, I enjoyed it. I don't get seasick, so it didn't bother me. I thought it was interesting. I would try to go outside and watch. The wage gap between entertainment and the house staffs keeping up with the bar are terrible. Yeah, it is because of it's because of the countries. It's because of the demographic, right? Entertainment, 9 times out of 10, you'll see them from the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia. 9 times out of 10, that's where that entertainment will be for the most part. As far as the dancers and singers, the musicians you'll find from all over. But yeah, there is a huge wage gap. But at the end of the day, it's because of the simple fact that entertainment is kind of the point of being on the ship, other than the destination. If the people aren't being entertained, and you know what I mean, like, you get what you paid for. If you pay somebody bottom dollar to be an entertainer on board, and you want them to work these hours and do backflips on the ship and do all this stuff on the ship and live on the ship for 6 months out of the year, you got to pay them accordingly. You know? Would I recommend passports while cruising? What do you mean would I recommend passports while cruising? Like holding on to them? What do you mean? That's why you tip big. I appreciate it. Hey, trust me, the crew members appreciate the tips. They really do. All right, guys, so I'm going to stay on for like 5 more minutes. After that, we're going to go ahead and get off. Diane, thank you so much. Yeah, we do have a lot of people on here. You guys need to hit that like button for me. I'd appreciate it. Have you ever seen passengers sticking to the crew area downstairs? Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. All the time. Like, we'd be all getting drunk, partying at the crew bar, and next thing you know, there's some random passenger down there. Or somebody snuck them in and just kind of pretended not to know them once they got caught. That was it. Would I recommend passport going? Yeah, I mean, I think you should take your passport. I mean, why not? You're one of the best Oh, okay, nice, man. Yeah, I want to be in the UK as soon as possible. I'm trying to get on a flight to Europe as soon as I can. So, having a live show or a Zoom on Duo? No, I haven't. I mean, honestly, I think YouTube still does a pretty good job. I've heard about ways of merging with my Facebook. I'm gonna get with my people on my moderators and admins on my Facebook group. We're gonna try and do like a little collab between Facebook and YouTube. But that's all we're staying with right now. This is a brand build. There's my channel builds. I might expand to other platforms, but for now, YouTube, Facebook. You know, there's so much stuff with social media. I don't want to get too caught up in trying to go over to Twitter, Instagram Live, and everywhere else. There's no point in doing all that right now. Start small, then we expand. How often do you see drugs? I saw drugs all the time on board, to be honest with you. I saw drugs. Yeah, YouTube is better for monetizing as well, yeah. So, yeah, you do have to have a passport to cruise. That's why I was confused. Yeah, you have to have a passport. Unless you're a crew member, they take your passport away. That's the only other time. You and your moderators. Oh, thank you so much, Jill. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for following the YouTube channel and the Facebook group. Thank you. When's the last time you had diarrhea in regards to Argentina? What? What do you mean? In regards from Argentina? I mean, like, it depends. No matter where you are. Like, if you're going from one country to another, the food can always be bad, to be honest with you guys. Not bad, but you can always, it might not sit right with your stomach because you're eating from 2 different parts of the world. And even the water alone is just going to sit with your stomach a little bit differently. No, I've never worked in the sky. I've never been on the sky either. I've never been on the Norwegian sky. Let's see. Lay in, hi. All right, what else? Drugs and smoke, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's true, guys. I've done a video on it. I've done one video that got completely demonetized. But I did talk about the drugs and stuff. Yeah, people cruising is like the same thing as like an airport. People are smuggling drugs and all that stuff. It's happening on board. People are smuggling drugs. Women are prostituting. I promise you. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it. I know people that were doing it. Trust me. It's a thing on board cruise ships, especially with the crew. It's a thing. That's no problem, Angela. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, there's so much that happens in the cruise world, especially on the crew member side. You know, I think it was funny. There was one guy that was trying to argue with me in the comment section once. He was telling me about with the crew. He was saying that I was wrong when I was talking about what was going on the cruise ships as a crew member because he knew because he did a crew tour. He paid for the crew tour. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like, they don't show you everything. Maria, thank you so much for the super chat. But yeah, no, this guy legitimately tried to argue with me and tell me that I was wrong when I was talking about all the stuff that goes on the cruise ships. And specifically, he was talking about the amount of alcohol you're allowed to consume as a crew member. Remember that? Yeah. And he was talking about the alcohol that I'm supposed to be consuming as a crew member, about how we're supposed to, 0.005 is the limit. Like the equivalent to 2 beers is technically the maritime law as far as what you're supposed to be drinking on board. But don't nobody follow that. Hold on. Boring. You don't know as much as you claim. You should pay people to watch this. Pine Creek, I guess. Sure. I mean, that's your personal opinion, I guess. But maybe I don't know as much as I claim. Who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to perspective. So who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Wow, that's the first, I guess, negative comment I've ever seen on my live. I don't know why you're here then, to be honest. You know. No, trust me. I mean, I'd like to know. I think it's funny. But I have no reason to lie at the end of the day. I really don't. I'm 27. 27 years old. I know, guys, I'm getting old, by the way. Like I said, I got some gray hair coming in. So, yeah, negativity. I really don't get it. I really don't. But again, what reason would I have to lie? Like, there's videos of me on board the cruise ship. Why would I lie? You know what I mean? So, I'm pretty sure that Pine Creek person is probably like I don't know, a drone or something. I don't know, a bot. Or just one of those people that's probably, I don't know, the keyboard warrior, I guess you could say. But no, seriously, like, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, look, you can see me. There's videos. You go back. It's not like I've never been on a cruise ship before. And as you can see, I'm a pretty open person. Like, so why would I not hang out with other people and gather as much information as I can? Thank you, Diane. Smash that like button. Seriously, guys. But if people think I'm lying, then I'm sorry, but whatever. Keep up the good work. Oh, Edwina, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, it does take time. I'm sorry, guys. I just think it's funny when I see stuff like that. I really do. I'd never get upset, but I always wonder, for somebody to go out of their way to take the time to try to prove something that they know they can't prove, I don't get it. Facebook name, just type in the ship life, and then I have an anchor emoji on it. Just type in the ship life, and when you go on Facebook, you'll find the group. So just find it within the group, you'll find it. But I do leave it in all of my videos as well. Just look in the description, you'll see the ship life link. I haven't put it in this video yet, but I will. But look at my other videos, you'll find the link to my group page. Negativity. Oh, thank you so much. No, I don't concern. It's not, to me, it's not a concern. It really isn't. Look at one of my other videos for the Instagram. Again, my link is always in my Instagram link, and my Facebook group link is always in my description on all of my videos. So, yeah, I know people are jealous. Trust me. Florida's starting to open back up. I drove around today. It's pretty much back to normal, to be honest with you. They got social distancing rules in place, but that's it. Royal Caribbean ships. What do you want to know about Royal Caribbean? Tell them, Diana, steel toe boot. Not worth any more time. I don't know what that means, but all right. Do crew members ever get in fights? Oh, yeah, we have fights all the time. Fights all the time. Maria, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Oh, that's like, what, the third one now? Takes time away from us, ignore. No, trust me, I'm trying to give you guys all the time you need. You got any questions? I'll be sure to answer them. Just let me know. I'm just not going to stay on too much longer because I have a couple other things I have to do today for the channel. So just, tour with the crew area. Yeah, it is pretty cool. But I promise you, those tours that you take on these ships, they don't show you everything. It's kind of like a PG taste of what goes on with the cruise life. They'll show you like the I-95. They'll probably show you, maybe one of the backstage areas. They might show you the engine room. right? They don't show you all the stuff, and it's like even an hour tour is not going to justify what goes on in the crew area. I promise you that. I promise you that. Those tours are scheduled so that things go according to plan. There are so many things that happen. Wow. How do you say it? Sprindle Shim? I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, but thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Wow. Wow. Seriously, guys, thank you for the support for the channel. What's my favorite ship? I mean, just because I had so much time on it, definitely the Escape. I love the Escape. Cool ship. I mean, we'll see. If the itinerary changes, any ship that goes to any of my favorite ports is my favorite ship, to be honest with you. Because I'm the type of guy that can have fun anywhere I go. Where to apply for cruise line jobs? It depends on what you want to do. You want to be a dancer, you got to go to an audition, right? If you want to be, let's say, an officer, you got to go to one of these maritime schools. But if you want to be like a regular worker there, you want to be a waiter or anything like that, just go online. Go online to their websites and apply from there. You know, and if you, let's say you live in, let's say a developing country, they might have some type of recruiting office somewhere for you. I'm aware there's definitely more going on in the crew areas we saw. We did a crew lounge. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so much that goes on. There really isn't. There really is a lot that goes on. What do you think of the chances are Freedom of the Seas will go out in September? I think it's possible. It's definitely possible. Please don't say your role. What does that make me? You have a good knowledge of ship life. They're bullies. Yeah. But here's the thing. I mean, there's always going to be bullies, guys. It doesn't bother me. Trust me, I can hang with whoever. Anybody wants to talk, I can run with you if I feel like it. It's all entertainment to me. And the way I see it, with somebody saying anything negative on my channel at all, if I don't see negative people, I'm doing something wrong. My channel has done the best when people are going on my channel and hating, to be honest. So it is what it is. For security reasons, the cruise ship can't show everything during the Exactly. Exactly. And they're only going to tell you, what is maritime law, right? Like this guy that was arguing with me and was telling me about the drinking limit, right? I promise you, I can promise you people on board these ships are having more than 2 beers, okay? I promise you, especially like NCL, you can only, the crew in the crew area, you can only have wine and beer. But if you're with, let's say, Royal Caribbean or Carnival, you have liquor in those crew bars. So if you guys line up a couple shots and line up a couple more, you're already technically past that limit, right? But it just depends on if you get caught. If you're not causing a ruckus, if you're not making a fuss, if you're not throwing up on the I-95, if you're not getting into a fight, you're going to be fine. And hopefully they don't randomly call you out of the 10 people for the random drug test the next day. You're good. Oh, Nibbles. Yeah, no, seriously. Diane, Rob, Scott, thank you so much for moderating. You guys are killing it, as always. Thank you so much. So anyway, guys, I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, all right? Anybody got any more final questions? Oh, Sprindle and Chim is from Speed Racer. Oh, okay. Man, I was never really a fan of Speed Racer, to be honest. What's the drinking age on the ship? 21 still. At least if the ship is based out of the U.S., it's still 21. So, and then I think that's just maritime law. You have to be 21. And I don't think they follow the same rules. But I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how many of us sneak like the 18, 19-year-olds to drink. They don't really care like that, to be honest. They're not. The crew members on board, we're all crew. The officers aren't policing everybody. Security's not policing everybody so much to the point to where they're worried about it, to be honest with you. What's up with the... I know, I need to get another one, don't I? I really do. I've been kind of chilling. I've been going to, like, usually I'll just go to CVS or something and get it printed out. I need to go get another one done. Actually, I need to just write that down, to be honest, because I need to get that... Yeah, that 10K thing needs to go away, right? I need to update it. Any appetite for cruise that will go nowhere? I would. I mean, I love the ocean. My favorite place to be. I would take a cruise to nowhere. But it would get tiring after a while. You know what I mean? Like, how long would somebody do that? Somebody would take one of those and be like, oh, okay, well, I still wouldn't mind going to a port, especially if they don't change that price. So if they have a cruise to nowhere, all right, Tanya, thank you for watching. You have a good day as well. But if they have a cruise to nowhere, how many of those are you going to want to take before, especially if they don't lower the price, how many of those are you going to take when you're like, all right, I'm kind of over it, you know? Everybody wants a new experience at the end of the day. I mean, the cruise itself is an experience, but you still want to stop somewhere. So a cruise to nowhere, if they don't lower that price, ain't nobody going to be cruising to nowhere. I can promise you that. What's my favorite? Bermuda. Bermuda's my favorite port. I wish it was a little cheaper, though, to be honest, because that's an expensive place. But I love Bermuda. Beautiful place. If you haven't been to Bermuda yet, and if you do happen to go, make sure you check out Glass Beach. It's like kind of on the way to Horseshoe Beach, except you can walk to it. Cool place. All right, last question, guys. Anyone else? Do the crew leave the ship on port days? Yeah, just not all of them. It depends who has the port off. to be honest. And that accounts for maybe like 25%, not even of the crew. So some people can get off, some people might have an hour. Do I speak any other language? I wish. My girl keeps trying to teach me Spanish, or French, but learning another language is extremely hard. I plan to go out there at some point for a couple months so I can just kind of take it in and get to the idea of learning another language. That's a big life goal of mine. I would love to learn another language. So we'll see. So, you know, either Spanish or French, one of the two. I'm going to learn one of those at some point. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, anyway, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I really do. I might do another one of these. I'm thinking about maybe starting to do this once a week, just so we can keep things interesting and in the event you guys have questions. Because, yeah, the pumping out the video stuff is cool, but that's, you know, when are you going to detail my car? Message me privately. I'm down for that, Bruce. Just message me privately. But, yeah, guys, so that's it. I'm going to do these once a week, and then eventually I'm going to add my moderators and admins in. We'll do a whole little thing, and, you know, I have guys that have a little bit more knowledge than I do in certain areas, so I'm going to start bringing them in, and then we'll just move forward, because obviously I don't know everything about cruising. But anyway, guys, I hope all of you have a great weekend. I'll keep posting content. I have another video coming out tomorrow, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But until then, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, all right? And of course, before you guys leave, like Diane just said, smash that like button. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon, all right? Take it easy.